Okay, everyone. Today we're going to be going over how to factorize quadratics. Today we're going to go over DOPS, otherwise known as dots, difference of perfect squares, difference of two squares. Now, difference of perfect squares or difference of two squares, we'll call it DOPS for now, is when you have a form a squared minus b squared. This is your first square, this is the second square, and this negative sign is the difference. What we know is if we have it in this form, this is equivalent to this. Makes sense because if you expand it, these two cancel. These are 0. So the key is with quadratics, is that this is non-existent, doesn't exist. So in order to use difference of perfect squares, we need this stuff. And we end up with ax plus b, ax minus b. I'll provide an example. We had x squared minus 9. This is equal to x squared minus 3 squared. So our a is x, our b is 3, meaning this ends up with as x plus 3, x minus 3. What if we had 9x squared minus 16? Let's turn it into our DOPS form. This step can be skipped once you get used to this method, but it really helps in negating small errors. So in this case, our a is 3x and our b is 4. Notice how our a is not 9x, but 3x. Very important. So that means this turns out to be perfect. So you would use this factorizing method with a quadratic that looks like this. Now, the squared doesn't have to be there, but for example, 9x squared minus 16. Sometimes you won't be given a perfect square, so you may be given 3x squared minus 14. A is, so this is ended equal to 3x squared is equal to a squared. So then a is equal to this. And if 14 is equal to b squared, we have square root of 14 equals b, meaning this would become root 3x plus root 14, root 3x minus root 14. This may happen in a Tech 3 question on how to simplify it. Majority of the time, it'll look like this, and you won't have to deal with dirty surds like this. A good trick is if you are running into things like this, you probably want to factor out the highest common factor beforehand. So if we had 27x squared minus 48, we wanted to factorize it. We can kind of see it's in DOPS form, but let's take a factor of 3 out first. And then we can turn it into, so highest common factor first, and then implementing DOPS. Alrighty. That's all.